Welcome into NFL Daily. We've got the updated NFC Playoff Picture for you guys before Week 15. The Niners, some major changes. They're now number 1. Green Bay's number 2. The Saints, the only team so far in the NFC to clinch a playoff spot. They're number 3. The lowly Cowboys leading the way in the NFC East. Seahawks 5, Vikings 6. We'll discuss the wild card and make note there of the Philadelphia Eagles. They still play the Giants on Monday Night Football. However, regardless of the outcome, they are still going to be behind the Dallas Cowboys thanks to the head-to-head tiebreaker. So that game will impact some possible clinching scenarios. More on that in a little bit. But I wanted to get it out to you early because it's not going to change who sits right now in the NFC playoff picture. The Niners took that number 1 spot thanks to the awesome game against the New Orleans. Seriously, how much fun was this to watch? 48-46. Who cares about defense? This is one of several games that caused some major shakeup right now in the NFC playoff picture. The Niners now that number 1 seed. They defeated the Saints this past week. Now they have the Falcons next week. Now the NFC West might not be decided until Week 17 against the Seahawks, but the 49ers very much are on the verge of clinching that playoff spot. Win against the Falcons. They are in fantastic shape. There are several different scenarios this week for San Francisco to clinch that spot. Here they are. Option 1, win or tie against Atlanta. That's it. I think they'll do that this week. Option 2, have the Rams lose or tie against the Cowboys. That's certainly plausible. The Cowboys, as you'll see, are favored this week. The Packers can lose to the Bears and the Vikings lose to the Chargers. Those are your 3 options. If you're San Francisco, don't worry about LA or Green Bay or Minnesota. Take care of your own business and take down the Atlanta Falcons. The Niners are the number 1 seed for now, but there are still several teams in the mix. Seattle's still technically alive. Green Bay and the Saints as well. So let me know in the comments, who gets the number 1 seed and home field advantage throughout the playoffs in the NFC? Is it San Francisco? Is it Green Bay, the Saints, Seattle? Let me know in the comments section. Let's talk now about the Green Bay Packers. They're the number 2 seed right now, thanks to some tiebreaker adjustments. The Redskins, they're coming off a win over them. They got the Bears this week. They can clinch a playoff spot as well. They cannot yet clinch the NFC North. Check in again next week once they get ready to play the Vikings. So I guess in Week 16, I should say. Again, they clinched that playoff spot with a win and a Rams loss. That at least assures them of getting a wild card bid. To do that, they must take down the Chicago Bears this weekend. The Bears, great defense, terrible offense. Green Bay, consistent. They're 13th in scoring offense and scoring defense. Packers are a 4.5-point favorite. Does that seem low to anybody else? That kind of feels low to me that they're at home. I know the Bears are coming off a win over the Cowboys and Lions, but I'm a little perplexed by just how low that line actually is. So who do you guys have this week? Type B for the Bears, P for the Packers. Chicago basically has to win out. We'll talk about them more in depth here in a little bit. But I'm taking my P for the Packers. I'm also going to bet on them this week on BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. Chatsports.com/bet. That promo code NFL120. The Saints, meanwhile, have the number 3 seed for now. Unlike the rest of the NFC, they've clinched their division. And because the NFC East is so bad, they can actually finish no worse than the 3 seed. The real question for the Saints becomes, can they get that coveted bye? The schedule's not that tough. They've got the Colts at the Titans. That's a tricky one. And then at the Carolina Panthers as well. The real question and issue is, if they win out, they don't control their own destiny. Green Bay and the Niners would have the tiebreaker advantages, so the Saints, if they want to bye, they're going to need some help. Despite the Cowboys in all reality not being a top 5, top 6, top 7 team in the NFC, they are the number 4 seed right now, and that will not change regardless of what the Eagles do on Monday Night Football. Coming off another bad loss to the Bears, making Mitchell Trubisky look awesome, now they have the Rams. I will make note, of course, the seed does not change for Week 15, but the clinching scenario could for the Cowboys. If the Eagles lose to the Giants and the Cowboys win against the Rams and the Eagles lose to the Redskins, that's Week 14 or Week 15 loss for Philadelphia, Cowboys clinch a playoff spot ahead of their Week 16 matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. But who here thinks the Eagles are going to lose both of those games? I certainly don't. So in all reality, it's going to come down to this. Week 16, Cowboys on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys win that game. They will take advantage, and they will set themselves up in a really great position for the possibility of clinching that division. They will have a 2 wins over the Eagles. They'll win every tiebreaker. All they got to do is tie, and they got the friggin' Redskins in Week 17. So Week 15 doesn't matter that much in the end for the Cowboys, but they need to start actually winning games here. They are the favorites at home against the LA Rams. I don't have much faith right now in this Cowboys team. I don't really see why anybody would have much faith in the Cowboys team unless your name is Jerry Jones. So predict their record. They're 6-7 right now. They'll get to 7 wins. They'll beat the Redskins unless they're really just tanking all the way. Maybe it's a fitting end of season mark and they go 8-8 with head coach Jason Garrett. Maybe it is 9-7 because, well, that Eagles team isn't very good. Of course, the Cowboys have made Mitchell Trubisky look great. I can't wait to see what they do against the Cowboys. Moving on now to the Seattle Seahawks. They lost to the Rams. That offense did not look good. It was a very bad showing for Seattle. They're still, though, on the verge of clinching a playoff spot. You get to 11 wins, you're going to make the postseason. And they've got their next 2 games against the Panthers and the Cardinals. They're going to win one of those, and they might have to wait for another loss somewhere along the way from somebody else to put that in position for the clinching. But there is a playoff clinching scenario this week for Seattle. Kind of complicated. Step 1, or at least let me rephrase that. Option 1. You beat the Panthers and the Vikings lose, you're in. Or if you tie the Panthers and the Rams lose, you're in. Or you beat the Panthers and the Rams lose or tie and you're in. And then another tie scenario, just because I'll mention it even though we know those things never happen. You beat the Panthers and the Packers lose and the Vikings tie. There you go. Of course, we mentioned the extra Packers loss because Vikings loss would fulfill option 1. So in reality, let's focus on this. Beat Panthers and have the Vikings or Rams lose, and beat the Panthers, and you are in the playoffs. But will they win the NFC West? Again, I think this comes down to Week 17. Niners and the Seattle Seahawks. Who do you guys have? Type SF for the 49ers. Type SEA for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to go with San Francisco. I don't think they're going to get swept by Seattle. So if it does come down to it, I think they will find a way to beat Seattle in Week 17. All right, the Minnesota Vikings, they are next up here. They are the number 6 seed. They're coming off a win over the Lions. They've got the Chargers, who blew out the Jags this past week. But they have no clinching scenarios for this week. Minnesota's kind of stuck in a holding pattern. They need to keep winning games. If they get to 10, I think they're in pretty good shape. The problem is, if they lose to the Chargers, things can get a little bit dicey for Minnesota. They've got the Packers Week 16. That probably will determine the NFC North winner. And then Week 17 against a Bears team that may or may not still be in the postseason hunt. We'll see what happens on that front. Now, if you need something this holiday season for Christmas for yourself or a loved one, or something to add to your Christmas list, how about an NFL jersey? Send your gift giver this link, chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Those jerseys are on sale right now. Not all of them, but there are a bunch of them on sale right now. Chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Niners, Panthers. Sorry, your playoffs hopes are over there, Carolina. Cowboys as well. It's chatsports.com/NFL jersey. On now to the LA Rams, not currently in the playoff picture. They are the first team out right now at 8-5. A major win over the Seattle Seahawks, keeping them alive. If they can take down the Cowboys, then they're at 9-5. All of a sudden, they are right in the middle of that playoff mix there. They're coming off a big-time win over Seattle. Really changed the NFC playoff picture and race. Jared Goff was great in the first half, bad in the third quarter, and then held on for the win there. Todd Gurley, Tyler Higbee stepped up as well. The Rams' defense in particular also I thought played very well in this game. They remain alive here. Cowboys, then Week 16 against the 49ers. You have to win at least one of those games, if not multiple. Then you can get to 10 wins with a win over the Cardinals. So who do you have this week? Type R for the Rams. Type C for the Cowboys. Let me know in the comments section who you guys have winning this week. Is it the Rams? Is it the Cowboys? Cowboys are favored, but they're making every quarterback look like they're having their best game ever. Maybe you go with the Rams here. The Bears, meanwhile, 7-6, the last of the teams alive in the wild card race. Make note of that. They can be eliminated this week. If they lose and the Rams or the Vikings win, the Bears are out. Now, they're still alive, but only technically. You've got the Packers this week. You've got the Chiefs next week. And then you've got the Vikings in Week 17, 2 of them on the road. The Bears have to win out. Are they going to? No. So I'm sorry, Chicago. Nice little stretch here as of late, but there's no way they go 3-0 to end the season. Maybe they can go 2-1. Even that feels like a pretty big stretch. Finally, the Philadelphia Eagles. A reminder, they play the Giants Week 14, Monday Night Football, but that outcome does not impact the Week 15 playoff picture. The Eagles are still going to be behind the Dallas Cowboys. In reality, they're eliminated with 2 NFC losses and a Cowboys win. And that can happen, 2 of them at once, in Week 16. Cowboys, the Eagles host the Cowboys in that game. And they've got the Redskins and the Giants both Week 14 and Week 17. It's an easy schedule for the Eagles. They don't play a team with a winning record the rest of the way. But can they recover from what's frankly been a pretty rough couple of games making the NFC East? Only time will tell.